Alright everyone, we're back again. It's your friend Will. We're going into what will be our last round here, win or loss, in this competitive constructed run, playing Esper Control. Our opponent kind of rage quit on us in a soft mirror. It was our Esper deck versus their blue-black deck. We flipped Azcanta, they didn't, and more or less it felt like they had a handful of useless removal, or things like Essence Scatter that were not going to be immediately useful. Scooped the first game, even though we rolled a 5, so that's pretty crazy. We stuck it out, we won that one. And then they conceded a second time during sideboarding. And I don't know, if you're going to play a control deck, I think you have to be willing to play some mirrors that are going to be very draw go and very just about patience. And you know, I've punted my share of those types of games, but I still enjoy playing them. Going first, Negate, Disallow, Glimmer. I think this is a great one. This is an all-timer, more or less. Bothers me that I didn't take the time to switch these to full art. Especially since I'm sure once they like figure out all the monetization, that full art stuff, and all the cool kind of custom looks on cards, I'm sure that'll all be like premium. Like what do you think? Like what would be a reasonable price to charge? Right? Like, and how would you even structure it? Like, would you charge per land, or would you just charge like a flat amount and then you just get to have that as an option, like Unhinged, Swamp, or Zendikar? You know, not even just one. Maybe would you do it by type? Would you do it by set? Like all Zendikar full art basics. Like, how would you do this? So I'm gonna hold this for Forsake the Worldly. The fact that they played Opt there makes me think they're on some kind of conjecture deck, and Forsake will be pretty good at interacting with that. So yeah, they could be on blue-red conjecture. They could also be on. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Guess we want to play the Glacial Fortress tapped, so we have Disallow mana. They could also be on some kind of slow Wizard's draw here, or blue-red spells deck. I'm guessing conjecture. In which case, like Negate, like actually all these cards are really good. And our card draws instant speed, so I mean I shouldn't speak so soon because we haven't actually seen what they're playing. But they're not dropping any spells on us, so that makes me think that it's a slow deck. So yeah, conjecture is my call. This could also be like blue, red, white. Like I've seen versions of this that instead of playing the black, they play like blue, red, white, and they play that energy, the 3-drop energy creature that makes 1/1s, and a lot of like ancillary energy stuff. So it could be that deck too. And they're just stuck on a color. Well, I don't know, what would they be using white for here? Do we want either of these? I feel like we want the land. I'm not so sure about the commit. You know, commit is like a randomly good answer to any permanent, so let's just take those. I wonder what they could be thinking of trying to resolve in the end step. Okay. Play the pool. We want that third blue source, so we have Disallow and Negate both. We need that triple blue. This also importantly lets us get like future Glacial Fortresses into play untapped. Glimmer of their own, which makes me lean now more towards something like blue, red, white. Or what do they call that? I forget what they call that shard, because I skipped that block. Yeah, but it could be like blue, red, white, and they still haven't found white. But I think they would only play white for Teferi. Search for Azcanta. I guess we'll let that resolve. And we'll untap and on the end of their next turn, try to use Forsake with Counterspell. Yeah, this is actually great. Okay. We'll let them, like, push one card here. This will be the first time I've gotten to cast Forsake the Worldly. Alright, they push Sulphur Falls. I think it's just blue-red spells, so blue-red Conjecture. I'm trying to think of, like, what else they could play in this deck that's not Conjecture. So if they try to fight over this, it'll give us a window to get Teferi down. They haven't shown black, so we're not worried about Teferi getting owned by a Contempt or anything. But we just want to handle this now. Negate. So let's disallow the negate. And then if they choose to fight over this further, we're going to get our Teferi down. They're thinking on it, which makes me think they do have something. But I understand that they're probably afraid to tap lower here. Even so, if we draw untapped land, we're going to go for it with the negate to back us up. So fingers crossed for untapped land in our 27 land deck. Timeout used. They're in their end step, so I'm guessing they're just being delinquent here. Oh. We're not clear to go for it. Think it's too easy for us to get punished. That sucks. Missing land drops, even the 7th land drop, is really punishing when you're playing against another deck with counter spells. Okay, well at least now we have something to do on their turn. Gearhulk. That's okay. It's only okay because we need to cast this Glimmer really badly and find more land. Interesting. They're choosing to play Opt instead of the Glimmer. We would think they would want like the raw cards. Why not do the draw 2, scry 2? Alright, maybe they're just blue-red control then. No Teferi, no Vraska's Contempt. I mean, it definitely works. In this instance, it works because we're stuck on land. But I'd much rather be the deck with Teferis. Alright, so they're going for a Disallow here, which is fine. I guess we're going to try to resolve... Oh, we really need to hit a land. So we can try to force down Teferi here. Okay. Actually, how good is Teferi even here? I think what we do is, on their turn, go for Vraska's Contempt with Negate, and then Teferi to follow up. I think minusing this, I don't think we want them to get this back in hand. It's a lot of value. Yeah, I think we take the 5 and we do this on their end step. Life totals don't matter too much right now. We have to hope that their hand is all like magma sprays and stuff like that. Disallow. Alright, so we're going to negate this Disallow. If they have more counter magic... Wow. That's a blowout. Alright. We lost? Yeah, we lost pretty hard here. If we had ripped a land that turn... Oh my god. If we had just ripped land that turn that we needed to get to 7, we would have had Teferi with Negate back up, and we would have forced it down. We are playing 27, right? 6, 8, 11, 14, 18, 22. Yeah, 27. It's amazing how often we're getting stuck on like 5 and 6, even with 27 lands. So let's take this Forsake. Let's take Negate, Siphoner, Bloodfast, Duress. I kind of want to keep the Essence Scatters. Cast Down's pretty useful. Scarab God against a deck that has Gearhulk seems pretty good. So we know we're taking out the Fatal Pushes. And we need to get 6 more cards out of here. Maybe we don't keep the Forsakes. I don't think we want the commit, it's just so expensive. Vraska's Contempt is pretty expensive. We didn't see a lot of Planeswalkers. So maybe we do something like this. I want cheap removal to take out their 5/6s. Alright. Let's try this. Since I've never played it against like a straight up blue-red control deck. I'm not sure what else to be worried about. Other than just hitting land drops. Well, speaking of hitting land drops, it's amazing. We have 7 lands, and almost all of them come into play tapped. Well, I guess we can sequence this. I actually wonder if we should keep this. We're on the play, though. We have no way to interact with something like a search for Azcanta early. Oh, actually, no, we have Field of Ruin. You know what? This is kind of an interesting exercise. this was like a black deck that would be bringing in things like Doomfalls and Duresses, I would feel a lot better about keeping a hand like this. So we'll leave with the fortress. We have our swamp here. Yeah, so let's pick. We'll see how screwed we are here. But if we can nab like an Azcanta, wow, Spell Pierce. Or it might be a little screwed. They're packing things like Spell Pierce out the board. Well, at least they don't have Search. We can wrap a counterspell here. Drawing a land, not ideal. We kept 7. Alright. I think we're going to use this aggressively to thin our deck here. We really don't want to draw any more land. And an island will help. Oh, are they missing a land drop? That would be nuts. Makes our keep look genius. This does fix them for double blue. Turns on their disallows. Oh, and they ripped land. Alright, negates a solid draw. Instant, and so where's she supposed to cast? So they have to successfully counter the spell. Barrel, though. That's an interesting sideboard card. And it punishes us for taking out our removal. Oof. But they're doing it main phase, so that's kind of good for us if we rip something decent here. But they have 1 mana negates or 2 mana disallows off the barrel here. And they discard Opt. I'm guessing they still have Conjecture. Like just like value Conjecture. So how likely do we think they are to have like double negate? I think not so likely. Nice. More land. Well, the upside is any cycling lands we draw get to be cycled. This Brawl only hits for 1. They only have 1 red source. They're going to Glimmer off this. Yeah. We had to draw 2 because of the Siphoner, and a 3rd if we don't like what we see. I think we don't like what we see, so... Alright, Gearhulk's solid. We have to hold this back to block. I forgot to do the thing where I float land. Ooh, Harnessed Lightning. Alright, so I guess this is probably the most value we're going to get out of this here. One, two, three, four, five. And hope they don't have Essence Scatter off their Aether Hub. So this is going to help us block and protect our Teferi, which is all we care about. And we have Essence Scatter up if they have another Gearhulk, like if they try to main phase Gearhulk or do something weird. I'm guessing they're looking at like a Spell Pierce in their hand that's not doing anything right now. Oh, another Harnessed Lightning. Yikes. Okay. This time on the Gearhulk. Jeez. Hard to believe that keeping 7 wouldn't work out. Keep 7 and get flooded. So they kill Teferi here. We're pretty much like hard locked out of this game probably, just because of these. Actually. Scarab God's a pretty interesting draw here. I'm doubtful that it will resolve. Wow. Well, unfortunately our Gearhulk doesn't even have anything in the graveyard. But we can get a Siphoner back, which will let us draw an extra card next turn. And I guess we're not that afraid of taking 5 here. Oh. I should have figured that they would have Chandra here, and I probably should have kept in the Contempts. We had a lot of stuff that we wanted to bring in, though. Oh, they hit Disallow. That's pretty good for us. Like in a, if this game goes 20 more minutes, kind of grand scheme of things. I'm a little more concerned about making it through like the next 3 minutes of this game, but we can take 5 here. Yeah. I don't think there's any way around doing this here. It opens us up to... Yeah, that was actually the worst case scenario. We tap down, we don't get to make use of this Essence Scatter. Oh, wow. Oh, I set this, huh? Do I still want to do it? I missed my... I didn't set it. Okay. Yeah, we're pretty boned. Kept 7 and drew 6 more lands after it. So full half the lands. Yeah, if this was like a kill spell, if this was a cast down, I'd be feeling really good. We have enough to activate twice and use Disallow or Essence Scatter, which is pretty decent. Unfortunately, the blocking doesn't really work out favorably for us. I think the way we're going to have to block, assuming they ping us for 2 with Chandra here. Oh, there actually is like straight up fight with firing. We could be getting baited here, but I do think we need this blocker. Yeah, no matter how you cut this, this is just so bad for us. Alright, so I guess we let this resolve. Alright, yep, it tapped us in the maximum bad way. I mean, we can use energy, which is not that big of a deal, but it did tap us in the maximum bad way. Not that I'm salty about that. Scarab God's fairly good here, but I don't know that it's going to be good enough. At least this only loots them and it doesn't like straight up draw them a card. The order they did this in now, they don't get a chance to play something really spicy off Chandra. They hit another Chandra. Okay. Yeah, that's an expected attack, more or less. So let's add blue. Bring this back. Now from a blocker standpoint, is it better to get something off the board and take 5? I kind of think it is. I think we need to draw 2 here. And this can hit the Chandra down. This lets us also like replay the Scarab God next turn. As long as they don't have Negate, take action. Oh, more lands for the Land God. No spells. It'll be nice to know if that resolves. Okay. I think we're pretty much forced to do this. We might be okay. They do have Fight with Fire. We don't have Negates. How many of those Fight with Fires can they have, though? We get to bring back their Gearhulk. We would be able to draw another card next turn if we hadn't messed up our tapping and trusted the auto tap, but it wouldn't be a competitive constructed series of videos without me messing up the auto tap. Alright, so if I read that card correctly, it can't be countered. Cycle this. Cycle. Cycle. Unreal. How's this read? Non-creature spell. Do we want the Glimmer? Do we want neither of these? We need removal, right? It sucks to push past them. Unreal. And we hit a Glimmer. So I guess we're doing this now while they're like more or less tapped out. No. It's going to give them a card, but we need to see cards. Both of these good? I think they're both good. The Bloodfast lets us set up a loop. Gives them another card, but it flips. And it makes all of our mana actually useful again. We have blockers. We could still pull this one out. That's pretty crazy. Yeah. I think we have to let that happen. We haven't seen many disallows, have we? I'm pretty worried. We've seen two here. I'm pretty worried about the stifle function of disallow interfering with our Scarab God here. But I think we're pretty far behind, and it's the risk we have to take, so... Hour of Devastation. That's a good one. Damn, every time I do one of these control deck videos, I lose to a Nezahal. It seems such a garbage card. But I guess it's good. I mean, it's so good in situations like this where I'm drawing blank. And like we really just drew so blank this game. Like no spells in our graveyard. Yeah, so we're dead. For the Gearhulks, like that was rough. I don't regret keeping the 7. I regret proceeding to draw the rest of my lands. Like that run there where we just drew cycler into cycler into cycler was pretty ridiculous. I think any action would have been insane there. I think the big mistake was over sideboarding for the matchup and taking out those Vraska's Contempts. Like we need, in retrospect, like okay, if they're only blue-red control, they're probably playing Planeswalkers of some sort, and I just blanked on. I was thinking only of blue Planeswalkers and didn't think of Chandra. And I never considered the fact that like they could bring in something back-breaking like Nezahal. Like luckily we did leave in the Essence Scatters, but that card just can't be countered. So unsurprisingly, we lost to the cards. But let's claim our prizes. Okay, no, thank you. No, thank you. But 1,700 gold, so plus 700. And it looks like around this time tomorrow, I'll be getting ready to go to work. So I don't think we're going to have time to get any M19 events in, but the tentative plan with the gems we have left over from our last purchase and this gold that we've been banking. Ugh, look at we're still so far away from these quests. The tentative plan is to actually try our hand at drafting again. I really did not enjoy some of those flashback draft formats like Amonkhet, but I want to give it another shot, and rather than looking at potentially putting some more money in to catch up on the more new cards, I want to see how far we can maybe stretch our resources in that mode, with the caveat that if I find it extremely fucking boring, you know, I don't know what we're gonna do. If it's like a really boring format, or if it's just boring drafting or frustrating drafting against the bots. But I'm definitely gonna commit to doing a few of them. So that being said, thanks for watching, everyone. 4-2, not bad, and we will be back soon. Might be taking a day or two off because of the wedding and because of the new set coming out, but we'll be back soon with more MTG Arena videos.